Kim Kardashian has been featured on GQ's Men of the Year cover. She is the star of it. So I guess she's following in her stepfather's footsteps. If Caitlyn Jenner and Dylan Mulvaney can be Woman of the Year, what's to stop Kim Kardashian from being the Man of the Year, I ask?
Makes perfect sense.
What is a woman?
That we don't know anymore. They couldn't. Ketanji Brown Jackson couldn't tell us, and I doubt that the people at GQ would be able to tell us either.
So I guess she's just using this as an opportunity to promote her Skims loungewear line. She's opening it up to men. And they also use this piece as a bit of a tribute to her late father, Robert Kardashian, who famously defended O.J. Simpson in that famous trial. And I actually didn't know some of this information. I guess Kris Jenner was close friends with Nicole Brown Simpson, and she was on Nicole's side. And O.J. obviously was on his friend's side. Robert Kardashian was on OJ's side because they were college buddies. So this was a big point of contention between them as co-parents at the time. And
look, bros before hoes. Everyone knows that.
They brought the Kardashian children, the sisters, to watch the acquittal trial.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy to be there for a moment in history like that.
I was actually thinking about this before. Like the name of the family means very different things to very different people spanning multiple generations in this country, because I forget all the time that Rob Kardashian was connected to the OJ trial in the past. So, because when I think of the OJ trial, I think of Johnny Cochran. I think of if the glove don't fit, you must acquit. That's literally the only thing that I think of.
Yeah.
That, and I can recite all of Chris Rock's stand-up routine that talks about the
This
OJ
does
trial.
say Robert Kardashian later had questions about his friend's innocence.
Look, it's
after
his
the
job.
trial.
It's his job as his bro to take his side.
that
no
bro
matter.
code?
That's the bro code states you take his side. Plus, he's a lawyer, so he has deniability as far as morals, anyways. So he gets.
We were
to
having
just,
a long discussion about this before the show.
Yeah, it's his job.
He's
as the bro.
not obligated to defend him in court, though.
It's true.
He
did that as a favor.
I pitched a movie. Okay, so I pitched a movie.
This should be a movie, by the way.
Yes, okay, so this was my pitch. So if they were going to soften this and make this a movie about Rob Kardashian's moral dilemma while representing OJ. So in the movie, first of all, they would find a way to soften what happened to make it look like either an accident or manslaughter. They would find a way to make the actual death something that the audience wouldn't necessarily... Maybe they fought and it happened accidentally, whatever. They would have softened that. He would have had something in his past that OJ stood by him on. They were in college and he got in trouble and he stood by him. So there would be some emotional connection.
Robert Kardashian got Me Too'd when they were at USC.
Yeah, this is all my movie pitch. So that, and then the idea is that he defends him. He knows that he's guilty because a good defense lawyer is going to need to know everything because they can't have surprises coming out in court. He defends him. He gets him off for the crime he did commit. But then after that happens, he finds the weight of what he's done to be too much. And although he's glad that he did it because it's what a bro does for a bro, their friendship eventually drifts apart because the weight of the actions and all of the things that have happened between them just become too much. That's a movie I would actually watch.
They're not going to mimosas after the verdict.
The idea being that this is what I mean when I say that I like the idea of gray area in film. This isn't the same thing as when they try to just randomly rehabilitate characters at the end, like Marvel does sometimes, meaning here's a person, they've done a bunch of bad things, but they see the error of their ways in the end. That's not the same thing. That's gray characters of a different type. It's stupid. The idea here is that the real world is just a lot more complicated than what we normally see in movies and television. And an interesting story isn't going to have good guys or bad guys. It's going to have unbelievable moral dilemmas that cause regular people to ask themselves some very difficult and pointed questions. And I think that that's interesting. I find that a lot more interesting than the idea of people just, you're either good or you're bad and that's it.
I think that's why Breaking Bad did so well.
Yeah, in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
You see, because as gray as the morals may be, their motivations make sense and are relatable to the average person, but just aren't clearly coded as good or evil, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the movie, he should fully denounce bro code and then follow in the footsteps of Bruce Jenner and change into
There you go.
female.
And that was another thing I was going to point out was like the family name means a lot to a lot of people, meaning that, so you've got Rob Kardashian and you've got OJ, you've got Kim Kardashian with a generation, with my generation, meaning that a sex tape that led to an era of reality TV stars like Paris Hilton, and which gave way to influencers down the line. Caitlyn Jenner, who means something completely different to a whole other generation of people because of the inclusion of identity politics and gender identity, which is now a very, very current year issue. So it's not Hollywood or American royalty, but it's certainly some type of Hollywood dynastic legacy in a way.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I don't know how many Gen Zers know about the fact that Robert Kardashian defended O.J. Simpson. I don't think if you polled them, they would know.
I don't really think it's on the radar.
Yeah, they've reached an entirely new audience. But if Robert Kardashian had lived to see what his family name would become, I don't think that he would be happy about it. If he had lived to see maybe the reality show come into play, I don't think he would be happy about that, because they say in this article that the closeness of their family and the honor attached to that family name was important to him.
Yeah.
And now the Kardashians are synonymous with trashy tabloid culture.
Yeah. I mean, I think that she's worked to make it like a kind of a synergy between business and image, right? Like in a way, she's able to use her image to build a massive business platform that a lot of men wouldn't be able to do.
Given that her image is so important to her, I don't understand why she thought it would be a good idea to cosplay as her dad, basically, for the photo shoot.
Yeah.
She's fully cross-dressing here.
She's wearing a suit. She's not cross-dressing.
Okay, but if a guy were wearing a dress, he'd be cross-dressing.
Yeah, but there are men's and women's suits. She's just wearing a more masculine take on a suit in the picture, right? So it's supposed to be like her dad.
Brittany Martinez said, "Why do they always have men eating Cheetos on a couch in a suit?"
Yeah,
is that a thing?
I don't know, but I saw the Cheetos as like a prop, and I have
Cheetos paid for the
questions.
promotion. Actually, I think they wanted to
Also,
have the product.
good on her
placement.
for getting crunchy or for getting puffed and not crunchy. There's this great line in the movie. Yeah, you guys would be too young for this. There's a movie called Little Giants, which is a football movie starring Ed O'Neill and Rick Moranis back in like the late 90s. And there's this kid who's just super overweight, and the idea is like he keeps food in his helmet, and he takes his helmet off and they think he's bleeding, and there's just a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And then so they're going through it, and Ed O'Neill goes to him, he goes, "You're never gonna get anywhere when you use your helmet as a lunchbox, son." And then he goes, he's like, "It's still good." He bites the sandwich, and then his assistant coach pulls out a bag of Cheetos, and he goes, "What are those?" He goes, "Cheetos, crunchy or puffed?" "Puffed, wimp." Puffed Cheetos get a bad rap. Nothing wrong with puffed Cheetos.
Yeah.
They're good.
Also, out here, we have Old Bay, like puffed Cheetos.
Ew.
They're not technically Cheeto company, but they're Old Bay.
Okay, that's gross.
No, they're incredible.
No, you're a Marylander. Old Bay is
Not
like
just that, they also have Old Bay Goldfish.
Oh, I've had those before.
Those are good.
They're okay.
They're good.
Ew.
Mary's wrong, guys. She's wrong.
So in this piece, Kim talks about this instance where Robert Kardashian, a devout Christian, went to see a psychic after the OJ trial. And the psychic told him that the Kardashian name would be known internationally. And after that, he said, "That's how I know they're full of crap." And it turned out to be true, obviously.
Yeah.
And it also tells us about how Kim goes to psychics and mediums regularly. She has them on rotation. It says, in addition to her friends and family, Kim turns to psychics and mediums for reassurance. There are a few that she consults regularly. Quote, one is more of a spiritual healer, putting out good vibes and energy. When they tell me things, I write them down. I don't walk away thinking that I'm going to read the list and make sure everything comes true. After a few days, I'll forget about it. Then 6 months after the fact, I'll reread my notes from the session and it will have happened. And then it turns around and she says, most of all, she relies on her Christian faith. And it's very well documented that
do they go to church
going
regularly?
to psychics, mediums, witchcraft, astrology is explicitly condemned in the Bible. But the Kardashian family has always been at least nominally Christian, and she says, I'm probably more religious than most people guess. She prays with her children every night before bed. If the kids are at a sleepover, they FaceTime with Kim to say their prayers, and they also read Bible stories from the same books Robert read to Kim and her siblings when they were children.
So she's just choosing to take one aspect
You pick
of the
and
religion
choose what you want to follow.
A la carte religion.
Yeah, it's cafeteria Catholicism except for Christianity.
I mean, the real
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
The real job to get is to get that job as like the psychic or the medium, where like you ever heard that saying? It's like people are never going to remember what you said to them. They're just going to remember how they made you feel. That's like
there are so many charlatans out there,
Yeah.
but there are also real ones. I mean, I don't doubt for a second that there are some real psychics out there that make real predictions about. What are you looking at me for?
You think they're real?
Yes, absolutely. They communicate with demons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I haven't thought about this enough.
They'll tell people, "Oh, I'm communicating with your dead relatives," but it's actually a demon.
Okay.
What do you want to say?
I know I haven't thought about this enough, but she should get her tongue read, like by that woman.
Oh yeah, tongue reading.
That's gonna be the next thing.
Like rather than palm reading.
Tongue reading is going to replace palm reading.
But
yeah.
my
it made me
dentist makes
think of it
predictions.
made me think because I was watching The West Wing, and there's this scene in The West Wing in the second episode where the President Bartlett chooses this younger Army doc or like Air Force doc to treat him because he likes how he makes him feel by the time he's done with the physical. It's like, it's not just, he's like, but there's better, more qualified doctors. He goes, yeah, but when he's done seeing you, he feels better. So, that helps.
And it says, during one of her sessions with a medium, Kim said her father reached out to her. Quote, my dad had a chip on his tooth, and I always said, Dad, get a bonding and fix your tooth. He'd laugh and say, Kimberly, no one sees it. It's fine. And at her reading, Kim had a chipped tooth herself, and the medium told her, your dad is laughing at your tooth. And there's no way that the medium could have known that she had a chipped tooth. That's just one example that she gave.
I mean, maybe. I mean, you're saying there's no, in a family as well documented as them, there isn't somewhere in the annals of research that this lady couldn't have got that information. Because that's where most people who do that for a living do. They're just very good.
It'd be pretty easy
They're very good at cold reading people, and they're very good at doing their research to make sure that they have material to pull from. And they rely on you making connections where there aren't any because you want to believe in a lot of ways.
But the people that I would guess are the real so-called psychics or psychic mediums. They report just being out in public and getting premonitions or information about people on first glance. And they usually go up to them and ask them, like, do you want to know this? And of course, they don't know the risks. So they're like, of course I want to know. And they have true specific information about these people that they could not have known before. They couldn't have just read them. You know, I do think that they have, like, some of these people are not charlatans and they do have access to certain information.
Maybe they're the ones who went through, what was the CIA project? Starlight. What was somebody in the chat? Mike Turant says CIA clairvoyance. There was like a CIA operation back in the day that was trying to find psychics and people be good.
Yeah. Also on the question of what would Robert Kardashian think about the Kardashians reality show, All of the siblings said that he would have been proud of them for it, which is kind of ridiculous, except Courtney, who said there are parts that can be hard, like my fight with my sister. It drags things on in an unrealistic way because of the nature of our show. My dad was very much into the closeness of our family, so I think those moments would have made him cringe. And I agree.
Yeah. Wait, is this fatherless behavior?
It's fatherless behavior.
It was Operation Stargate. That was the CIA operation that was.
So what is that?
Basically, trying to recruit CIA psychics, and I think they were also trying to find people that could like kill people with their mind and stuff like that. CIA's been on one for like 50 years.
Should make a movie about that.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
So, yeah, I mean, fatherless behavior. A lot of fatherless behavior, but she's turned it into a very, very large empire and lots of money.
Yeah. I think that there are more celebrities seeing psychics and doing witchcraft rituals and who are involved in the occult than anyone realizes. And there are trade-offs that you make. Like the idea of someone signing their soul away to the devil is true. Like that has happened and does happen.
Where do you go to do that? Where do I go to sign up?
The Crossroads.
Crossroads?
Yeah.
Wait, where
Go
is
to Doja Cat's birthday party.
Is it Mississippi?
Is there a map I can get to like looking to sign contract with devil? Is that will that show up in Google Maps?
There's like a famous blues song about that.
Well, yeah, but
right?
we should be able to.
People say Doja Cat did it at her 27th birthday party with all the Illuminati symbols and
oh, she's been really dark recently.
the eyes
Her
wide
stuff has
shut
been
symbolism.
strange.
Yeah.
that Sam Hyde shirt.
Mm-hmm. Did you see that? She like posted a picture of her wearing a shirt with Sam Hyde on it.
No, I
and got a
didn't
bunch
see
of
it.
hate.
Did not.
It's interesting because when I think of like her type of business, we were talking off air, like because of her wealth, anytime she gives good advice now, she's just laughed at. She's like, you got to work hard to get somewhere in life. And people are like, shut up, Kim.
She
You're
could
an
say
idiot.
the sky is blue and people would be
They're
like,
"That's 'cause
you're an
you're
out
rich."
of touch, rich, elitist
Yeah.
prick. Like, yeah, she'll get that backlash no matter what.
It is weird how they celebrate someone like her making tons of money, which I'm sure is not all made ethically, but then they get mad at someone like Bezos making money.
Yeah, she has sweatshops.
Yeah.
I don't believe for a second that she doesn't.
Yeah, like I was driving through Virginia the other day, and I went through this fairly remote area, and I saw like 2 separate Amazon trucks delivering to these places. And I just think about that when you get out to these areas that aren't near major cities, aren't near large, access to huge infrastructure, you really start to understand just the size of what somebody Jeff Bezos created, right? To be able to have access to anything that quickly, it really is this unbelievable accomplishment, but he's somehow like it's derided because he's as rich as he is. But that's supposed to be kind of at the heart of capitalism, right? Is like the idea that you can create something of value that everyone can benefit from and you should be rewarded for it. Now, she's no different. Kim Kardashian should be rewarded she's what you said, Skims will be the official brand wear for the NBA this coming year. Right, so she's created something
Worth like $4 billion now.
I guess the choice is like, do you celebrate somebody for their strong business sense and what they've created, or do you flick them on the nose and laugh at them for their stupid comments that come out every once in a while? I think you judge someone like her by what she's created more than the stupid stuff she says. Mm-hmm. At least I would, personally.
She also talked about how she's studying for the bar.
Yes, she's still going to be a lawyer.
In honor of her father.
Yeah. I thought she was already a lawyer for some reason. Maybe because she did all that stuff with the Trump administration.
She's still getting taught and like.
Well, she passed
studying.
the one test, right? She passed like the baby bar, right?
Wow.
So like this is the funniest outcome. OJ does something and she has to defend OJ in court.
Yeah.
OJ ends
That would
up,
be a full circle moment.
That should be a different movie. Or
that's the sequel.
Okay.
Why hasn't that been made into a real like high budget movie, not just a docuseries.
Well, it was there was The People vs. O.J. Simpson, which did very good numbers back in like 2017 or something like that, which sparked that whole wave of like Law and Order, true crime, and like a bunch of these. The one about the Menendez brothers got made. Like a bunch of true crime series were relaunched because the People vs. O.J. Simpson did as well as it did. Who do you get to play O.J.?
Oh, who wants to?
Who gets to play OJ?
They'll just race swap him to be a white guy.
Dude, they could do that. That's I'd
if you
be
can
okay
race
with
swap Cleopatra,
Yep.
why not? Go for it.
So, yeah, I laugh because it seems like they've like Jeff Bezos doesn't benefit from saying stupid stuff, but I guess Kim Kardashian has built a business model that allows her to benefit from the occasional stupid comment.
She's very smart though.
But she's a very intelligent businesswoman. And that's like at the heart for a lot of these really, really, it's like Paris Hilton. She got even richer by pretending to be dumber than she is.
Mm-hmm. She's definitely really smart.
Yes.
Like
the story of her parents' divorce is so like, it's literally what the red pill talks about, because Kris Jenner met Robert Kardashian when she was 18. When she was a flight attendant. They got married when she was 22, and he was 11 years older than her. And then they had kids, and they are living in this lavish lifestyle because of him. And she just decides that she feels trapped in this domesticated life, and she wants to get separated so she can feel more independent. And he says, like, I don't want to get separated. And then she has an affair. And he's like, okay, fine. We'll get divorced then.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.